Most religious people think that to be close to God, you have to be perfect. You have to have it all together, be kind, honest, and holy. But what if the Bible tells us the exact opposite? What if God actually prefers to choose the broken, the manipulative, the liars, and the deeply flawed, precisely because they know they need Him? Today, we break down Genesis 25 through 36, the wild, chaotic, and deeply psychological life of Jacob. He starts as a schemer who steals his brother's birthright and tricks his own father. But he ends as Israel, the father of the 12 tribes, marked forever by a limp and a new name. Bishop Fulton Sheen, Jordan Peterson, C.S. Lewis, and Father Chad Ripperger help us understand why Jacob's brutal midnight wrestling match with God is actually a mirror of the silent warfare happening inside your own soul right now. If you have ever felt like a mess, felt like God could never use you, or felt like you are fighting a war with your own identity, this story is for you. Jacob literally means heel grabber or deceiver. He spends his whole life fighting his brother, fighting his father, fighting his uncle, and finally fighting God. He represents all of us, flawed, striving, wanting the blessing, but trying to get it the wrong way. Esau is the opposite. Strong, impulsive, a man of the flesh. He trades his future for immediate pleasure, a warning about what we value most. Rebecca plays favorites and schemes, showing how family dysfunction passes down patterns of sin. Laban becomes the uncle who outschemes the schemer. Jacob finally meets his match and learns that the measure you use will be measured back to you. The story begins with division inside the family. Esau becomes a skillful hunter while Jacob stays among the tents. Isaac loves Esau, but Rebekah loves Jacob. Favoritism poisons the family and creates rivalry between brothers. Later, Jacob dreams of a stairway resting on the earth with angels ascending and descending on it. Heaven and earth are connected. God is not distant. He is involved even in messy lives. Then comes the defining moment. God changes Jacob's name to Israel because he has struggled with God and with humans and has overcome. His identity is no longer defined by deception, but by his relationship with God. The story unfolds in 4 dramatic acts. First comes the deception. Even in the womb, Jacob and Esau struggle. As young men, Esau carelessly sells his birthright for a bowl of stew. Later, Rebekah creates a plan for Jacob to disguise himself as Esau. Jacob tricks his blind father Isaac and steals the blessing. He gets exactly what he wanted, but at a terrible cost. He must flee for his life, leaving everything behind, alone, guilty, and running from his brother's rage. Then comes the encounter. On the run, Jacob stops for the night. Using a stone as a pillow, he dreams of Jacob's ladder connecting heaven and earth. God repeats the covenant made to Abraham and promises to remain with him wherever he goes. Jacob wakes up terrified and says, "Surely the Lord is in this place, and I was not aware of it." He reaches Haran, meets Laban, and falls in love with Rachel. But the deceiver is deceived. Laban tricks Jacob into marrying Leah first. Jacob works 14 years for his wives, builds a massive family, becomes wealthy, yet continues living under manipulation. Then comes the return and the wrestle. God tells Jacob to return home. He leaves secretly, but Laban chases him. Eventually, peace is made, but now Jacob must face Esau, the brother he betrayed. Jacob prepares for war. He divides his family, sends gifts ahead, and waits in fear. That night, alone at the River Jabbok, a mysterious man appears and wrestles with him until dawn. It is not a robber. It is not merely an angel. It is God himself. Jacob refuses to let go until he receives a blessing. The man touches Jacob's hip socket, crippling him forever, but grants his request. His name is changed from Jacob to Israel. He walks away limping, forever marked by the encounter. Finally comes reconciliation and identity. Jacob meets Esau expecting revenge, but instead finds forgiveness. Esau runs toward him, embraces him, and weeps. The broken relationship is healed. Jacob settles in the promised land, builds altars, buries idols, and becomes the father of a nation. Now pay attention. Jacob did not wrestle God because he was holy. He wrestled because he was terrified, broken, and still trying to control everything. This is not a story about a perfect saint. It is a story about a man who kept fighting until he discovered who God truly is, and who he truly is. Bishop Fulton Sheen explains that Jacob spent his life wearing disguises. He wore goat skin to pretend to be Esau. He acted like someone else to gain love, blessing, and security. Sheen says most people create a false self, a version of themselves designed to win approval without vulnerability or honesty. Jacob thought he needed to become Esau to receive the blessing. But God would not bless Jacob the deceiver. God had to break the false identity before he could bless Israel. You cannot be blessed while pretending to be someone you are not. Jordan Peterson sees this story as the ultimate lesson about value and resentment. Esau trades his future for immediate pleasure. Every time someone chooses temporary satisfaction over what is good for the soul, they sell their birthright. Jacob desperately wants the blessing, but he tries to obtain it through manipulation and fear. Peterson explains that Jacob believes there is not enough blessing to go around, so he must steal it from others. But at Bethel, Jacob realizes something powerful. You do not climb to heaven by stepping on people. Heaven comes down to you. Bishop Robert Barron says this story destroys the image of a distant God. In ancient myths, the gods crush humans. But in the Bible, God allows Jacob to wrestle him. Why? Because God wants relationship, not empty submission. He wants people willing to fight for the blessing and hold on through the darkness. When Jacob wrestles with God, he is not destroying God. He's becoming transformed by him. Father Chad Ripperger examines Jacob through generational sin and family patterns. Isaac and Rebekah passed down favoritism, division, manipulation, and rivalry into the next generation. Jacob learned deception from the brokenness around him. Ripperger explains that Jacob's wrestling match becomes spiritual warfare to break the cycle. What you tolerate in your life eventually gets passed down to your children. Father Mike Schmitz focuses on Jacob's limp. Jacob receives the blessing, but he never walks the same again. We want blessing without struggle. We want transformation without pain. But God touches Jacob's strength so he can finally depend on God instead of himself. True blessing leaves a mark. C.S. Lewis focuses on Jacob's realization at Bethel. Surely the Lord is in this place, and I was not aware of it. Jacob thought God only existed in holy places or in his father's house. But God met him in the wilderness, in fear, in exile, and in failure. Lewis teaches that we often think we must find God, when in reality, God has already found us. Father Raymond Brown explains that the name Israel means he who struggles with God. The people of God are not people who never struggle. They are people who continue wrestling, doubting, fighting, and refusing to let go until they are blessed. Finally, Father Dan Reehil points out that God speaks to Jacob through dreams and promptings. God often guides flawed people through moments, intuition, and unexpected encounters. But Jacob does not ignore the moment. He stops, worships, and changes direction. Discernment is not only hearing God's voice, it is responding to it. Why is Jacob so important to the Catholic faith? Because Jacob represents the reality of the spiritual life. Catholicism does not teach that life becomes easy after faith. The spiritual life is warfare against sin, pride, temptation, and the false self. Jacob teaches us that struggle itself is not failure. Refusing to let go of God is what matters. Jacob's ladder also became a symbol of the Mass. In the dream, heaven and earth connect. In the Mass, heaven touches earth again through Christ, the true ladder between God and humanity. And finally, Jacob's name change reflects baptism itself. Before Christ, we are defined by sin, wounds, and brokenness. But through God, we receive a new identity. We may still limp, we may still carry scars, but now we walk with God. Jacob spent his life searching for the blessing, but in the end, he learned something life-changing. The blessing is not something you steal, it is something you receive. If you feel like you are wrestling with God right now, if you feel broken, flawed, or beyond redemption, remember Jacob. God does not call the perfect, He calls the broken, the schemers, and the heel grabbers. And if you refuse to let go, He can change your name, heal your heart, and give you a destiny greater than anything you could ever create for yourself. Keep wrestling. God bless you.